Alright, what's up guys? Prepared to wander back out in the woods today, and we're going to do kind of a cool little review of a new, I guess you could call it a knife, a new blade from Expat knives, which is a collaboration with ESEE knives, and it's called the Libertariat, I don't know how to pronounce it, but whatever the case, it's a cool blade. And this is it. So we're going to do some product testing out here in the woods, chopping, and just showing you, overall what this thing can do, and talking about the specs of it. So stick around because it's going to be a fun video. So this is from Expat Knives, and Expat Knives is a subsidiary or a collaboration with ESEE knives. And what they've done is, Expat seems to be kind of focusing in on more unusual blade shapes, but also blade shapes that are very old and been around for a long time. And this knife is no exception, because really what this is a short machete, and this design, this style, can be found pretty much all over the world in use in third world countries, developing countries, where they're using a lot of the old technology still. And these knives, just because it's not a traditional looking machete or a traditional size machete does not mean that it's not going to be able to handle some of the tasks we're going to throw at it today. But I really like how Expat is kind of going a different direction than everybody else in the knife industry, tackling some more unusual blade shapes, filling that niche. And what drew me to this blade was a couple of things. One, I've been looking for a machete or chopper that I could carry with me when I'm camping and hiking that was not going to weigh a ton. A lot of chopping knives are big, bulky, very heavy, and that's a good attribute a lot of times when you're chopping, but of course it weighs you down when you're also carrying a hatchet and a saw and a knife, and before you know it, you have just way too many tools that weigh too much. So something that's light, because what I find when I'm camping, a lot of times I come to an area where I'm going to set up my hammock or my tent, and I need to clear some brush, just some light brush around where I'm going to be setting up at, and I often don't have a machete with me. I'm not really a machete guy, so having something like this I can just throw in my pack, I'm kind of looking forward to this spring and summer. So that's the reasoning. Also, the price point on this thing is ridiculous. I mean, it's under $60. I think it's right in the $50 range. And the specs are, it is 1075 high carbon steel with a convex edge. It's a 9-inch blade, and it's 14 inches overall. It has these walnut handles, made in El Salvador, and it comes with this sheath, this nylon sheath that has kind of like a rubberized hard inside. Now I've painted mine, I've actually customized mine, I camouflaged it. I just wanted to tone down the color of the sheath, but an economical sheath. It has this nice crinkle coat kind of finish. Almost looks like a patina, but it's not. It's a lot more heavy duty than that. The spine has been sharpened so you can actually spark a fire steel. It has a hole up here, which we'll be talking about that here in a minute. What's the purpose of that? And then of course it's got this squared off end instead of like a traditional machete where it would have a pointed end or even a spoon type end to it. So this is the blade, and I think what we're going to do today is just do some clearing of some brush in the area, and then maybe test it on some hardwood branches and see how it kind of goes through those, because I really see this as a multi-purpose tool. It should be able to do both those tasks easily and not cause too many problems. So that's the specs on it, and let's take it out and test it. Now right away the sheath has good retention. You see that? Has a pretty decent belt loop on it. I would like to see the belt loop a little bit bigger. just because a lot of times I would want to put this on a bigger belt, like a pistol belt, so maybe a 2-inch loop would have been better. Then this is probably not going to go up to 2 inches, it's probably under that. So that's one little negative on the sheath, but the retention on it's really good, and I haven't had any problems getting it in and out of the sheath or cutting of anything. It seems to you know, slide in and out pretty easily. Alright, so one thing that I would be doing with this kind of blade is I want to be clearing brush. Now, if you're living down south, more in a swampy area, maybe you'd want a more traditional machete, something that's a little bit longer. This, I think, meets the need for a hardwoodsman like myself living in Ohio, where I'm only really trying to process some firewood, using this more like a fro, and then just clearing some light brush around my campsite. So that's what we're going to try to do with this thing. See how it does. It's got all these little scrub brush type plants around the area. They are everywhere, and that cut through pretty quick. So if you're clearing a game trail for hunting season, maybe this is a good pick for you. You don't need a big machete. That's going to take up a lot of room in your pack. At 14 inches overall, this is going to fit in a haversack, a small day pack, and without any problem. And even these saplings, really have no problem. Edge retention seems to be good. No rolling, no pitting. Alright, so one reason that there's a hole in the end of this blade, when I've been reading, is that actually this allows you to take a stick, and of course you'd want something that's fairly green so it doesn't break on you. But now that gives you more control when you're using this like a draw knife. So you can either draw it towards you, or you can draw away, push, scrape, or pull. And that keeps your fingers away from the blade and gives you some control. I flip this over. So that could be handy for some camp projects. If you're a builder, you like to build stuff when you're in camp. Base of this tree is still green. And I feel like I got good control. I don't feel like I'm in danger in any way, endangering my safety by doing it this way, either cutting or pulling or scraping. think that'd be pretty nice for dry wood. So we'll save that stick. Kind of missed the tip because I can't jam that into the log when doing this kind of stand-up fire prep. I like doing this a lot of times instead of a traditional way of making feather sticks because I can get a lot of control and I get a lot of really small curls, like itty bitty Shirley Temple curls like that are very, very fine. You get a bunch of those and you're in good shape. But that blade, since I don't have a tip, I can't jam that into a log. It's a little bit harder. I could probably, maybe I could beat this into this log. There's really not much. The log's too hard. If it was a little bit more rotten, I could probably do it. Alright, so my overall impression on this, just using it very briefly out here in the woods today, is I like it. I think it's going to be great for clearing brush. Wood processing, the handle, it's a little short for me, maybe. I don't know. I mean, you'd be the judge. I think having a pair of gloves would have really helped me with grip. And then maybe the handle, it's very smooth wood. Maybe if I put a wrap of gaffer's tape or maybe some 550 cord or bank line, and then maybe even coat that with some epoxy and do a wrap with epoxy, I think that might help the handle, give it some grip and also give it some beef. You know, not everybody has the same size hands, so it's always difficult with knives and machetes getting that right size. You could go too big and then it throws off the balance and makes it unwieldy, or you can make it too short and it's hard to control. But I think my problem is I just need gloves when I use this, and or I need to beef up the grip a little bit with some tape and just help with that. You know, doing some feather sticking and stuff, it seems to do just fine. It's sharp enough, obviously. That convex, it's fairly easy to control. Got some decent little curls. I'd like to do more fire prep with this thing in the future. Check it out and see how it works. Maybe do a 1-stick fire this spring when things warm up a little bit. But overall, it's, you know, it's a really decent little machete, and that's what I was looking for, right? I was looking for something small and something that was going to be able to throw into my pack and not worry about weight or size, because some of the machetes are just too long, too heavy. Some of the big knives are too heavy. This is something that, you know, even if I didn't bring my normal bushcraft knife, I could use this for fire prep and get away with it if I had a small pocket knife as well. You know, great tool options right there together. So I think there's definitely some good possibilities for use with this. I enjoy using it. It was kind of fun playing with it. Really liked it. So I think it's going to be a good short, lightweight machete for my pack. So 2 thumbs up for me. I dig it. Just got to get it zeroed in and keep working with it and getting used to it. Great value. Now, another thing to mention with Expat knives in this particular model, I think they're limiting the production to only 500 of these. So once they're gone out of the retail market, then it's all going to be secondary market. So if you want one, I would snatch one up soon. And they have them on Amazon, and of course at all the knife shops too. So I'll put a link below to Amazon if you're interested in picking one of these up. So, all right, guys, that's it. Just a nice preliminary test today to see how this thing did. You know, with ESEE knives, you know they're gonna do something quality, so I'm pretty happy with it. Thanks for watching. As always, please like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you next time on The Prepared Wanderer.